Whiskey 4, United Charlie Kilowatt.
Roger, Roger. And what's your name, please, sir?
Jim. I'm in North Georgia.
Roger, Roger, Jim. Meet another Jim. This is Jim, KC9VKV. Your signal is just beautiful. I'm copying it on my 10-foot mag loop antenna, and you look to be about last time I looked, about a 15 over, Roger.
Roger, Roger. You're about 20 over down here. May I, there's a lot of QSB, though. You took a big dive a minute ago. May I make a suggestion?
You may.
When you say to go to half to two-thirds of the ALC scale, I understand what you mean. But some people might misunderstand that to mean take it up into the red zone. So if I may most humbly make a suggestion, half to two-thirds before you get to the red part of the scale.
Roger, I usually tell them to stay out of the red, but we are talking, and gosh, if they made that mistake, I would hear that immediately.
Yes, that's true. If they do it at the same time that you're talking with them, I've been listening for a while. It's been very enjoyable, and there certainly can be a lot of audio improvement to a lot of people's signals. What do you think of mine?
Well, gosh, what radio are you running?
Kenwood TS-890 with an alpha.
Roger. I usually suggest that we start the fattening process with the compressor and just a token amount, 3, a third of its capabilities, a 3 out of 10, 30 out of 100. Roger, Roger.
Roger.
And once we have that compressor at 3, then we would move to the AOC, and again, we would adjust that from mid-scale to two-thirds, being obviously staying out of the red, but running it mid-scale to two-thirds. Roger?
Roger, Roger.
And then tell me a little bit about your antenna system, and I can hear your audio.
It's a Mosley Pro 67B. Which covers all bands from 10 to 40, except 30. And it's at about 72 feet. I'm at a good elevation here in the Georgia mountains, about 1,950 feet. So that's the station.
Roger. Well, sounds good. I do have a suggestion for you, and this is like in, trying to keep that audio as best as possible. A lot of it resolves back to us as operators. So what I suggest is turning your watt meter around to where you can see it as you speak, and put your watt meter in the PEP position. And so it will move fairly quickly. And then as you speak, observe where that meter is going. There's a sweet spot there where you know what it is, and that's where you want to keep that needle moving, right in that sweet spot. And so that has to do with you working the microphone. And if you pull off mic like that, you'll see that meter drop down. So you want to use that watt meter just like a VU meter. Roger.
Roger, Roger. And this microphone is very pattern intense. If you pull off of the microphone or turn away from it, it really loses audio quickly.
Roger. I usually, I work mine lip contact to the microphone through a windscreen. I find that just, there's no pulling off the mic. It's right there. And I'm looking at a VU meter, so I know exactly what I'm doing, And if you do work, tight mic like that, it does prevent any background noises from coming through, like the cows mooing in the back 40, or, the wife and the kids and the dogs and the cats and all that stuff. So you do, have a much cleaner signal the closer you work, but then you must use a windscreen. And I do suggest all operators use a windscreen regardless of how they work the microphone, because that is your insurance policy to never ever have any mouth noises, plosives, or whatnot with the windscreen. Roger?
Roger, Roger. It keeps the pops out of Peter Piper.
Roger, but there are transients that are other than P's, and B's, and I've heard some that were so loud, the mouth noises were so loud, that the operator was actually QRMing his own self.
I understand. Yeah, this is a Heil Pro 781, and I do have the foam sock on it. It's not a windscreen, but I do have the foam sock.
Roger. Well, that would be a windscreen, a foam windscreen, wouldn't it not?
Yeah. I think of the windscreen as the round object that hangs in front of broadcast people.
Roger. Well, that's a little overkill. The foam windscreen does so much better because there's no way that you can work around it. You have to go through it, regardless of how you approach the microphone. Theoretically, with the actual windscreen jobber, you could get up underneath it or around the edges of it, but the foam windscreen, there's no way around that.
Roger. I understand.
All right, and I think we got you there. If you would be interested in copying the mail on your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that would take you to our Qso-Vlog page. And on that page, again, you would be looking for a specific air checking entitled My Group Air Check 11819. My Group Air Check 11819. Roger?
Roger. 7-3, my friend. I hear your phone ringing in the background. I appreciate your comments. You take care. W4UCK.
Roger. Give me that W4, what was the rest?
United Canada, Kentucky.
I have that. And Jim, the name. Roger?
Roger.
Thank you, sir. Threes to you. And if you get a chance to join us next Friday, we are on the air between 3:30 and 5, and always glad for folks to drop by and say hello.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed listening. It's educational, and I'm sure it helps an awful lot of people.
Well, we try. I figure now we're right at about 800 Qso-Vlogs, and I think we've done probably about 160 7300 tune-ups and about 50 or 60 7610s. So we trudge on, Roger. This is KC9VKV and the Friday Afternoon Qso-Vlog Network. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. KC9VKV.